before we entreat any more chaos onto us.
And we're live. Sorry for the delay. The computer gods have decided to give us their wrath today. But we're here. Finally. So, let's just get right into it. Last time we left off, you guys decided to go have therapy with a vampire.
And it went great.
Sequel to Interview with a Vampire.
And thus, well, I should also state, for anyone who does actually care and who's watching,
He's a really nice vampire.
Yes. Also, you guys have decided that fuck whatever is inside the research lab. We're gonna go get some like help first, and then come back and fight this angel of madness.
Yeah, shit's scary.
For the
It is
first
the
time,
most reasonable tabletop plan to have ever been floated, which is why don't we go talk to somebody who knows what they're doing first?
Yeah, like I said, legitimately for me, this is a first. I've never seen a party back out of a dungeon that's 90% done. Be like, hey guys, we need to go get something for the final boss.
Yeah, imagine, like, find yourself a party that goes through the dungeon is like, wait a minute, we're in over our heads, let's leave. That never happens.
Legitimately never happens. I've seen players just push through a dungeon, wasting every resource to get through it. But now you guys are like, hey guys, we can't fight this. We have like contacts all over the fucking planet. Let's use those. I'm proud as a DM that finally all this support network I provided for you guys through various character interactions will finally be used for the first time in ages. Also, the group needed some mad therapy, so. Alrighty. So, you guys had your talk with Radovan. And it's going to take some time to contact individuals, kind of set out favors and all that kind of stuff. So you guys have some downtime equivalently in City Rosencrantz. So if there's anything you want to do in particular, we can do that. Otherwise, I can just time skip to the point where a solution actually gets made.
Only thing Anas had for while waiting is talking with his brother. But that can easily be expedited, if need be.
Go for it. We like story here.
Y'all just want to see Anas get thrown around by his brother.
I mean...
All of your conversations go so well. You say some edgy shit, he sighs and goes, how did you do reverse character development in one conversation? And then you grumble because you're a teenager, admit that you do actually have your character development, and then he ribs you for it, and then pats your head and is proud of you, and then you regress again because genuine affection from elder siblings. Cringe. It's about how it goes, right? Roughly?
A little too on the nose.
Okay.
Alright.
He goes to look for his brother. Actually, what time of day is it by now?
That's a question. Let's see here. It's like late afternoon.
Poor Radovan doesn't get any sleep nowadays.
Well, it's more he's just adjusted to a daytime schedule. veil. Oh no.
Oh.
Okay, given that it's daytime, based on what he's seen, I guess he has a general guess as to where his brother would be right about now. Probably at home doing paperwork.
Possibly.
Okay, he'll start there first to go look for his brother.
Okay. Well, you head home, and characteristically for this time of day, everyone's asleep.
Nah, his brother doesn't sleep.
No, you and Radovan are just now freaks because you traveled with Humies for too long and are adapted to daylight hours.
Yeah, but in Anas's entire time growing up, he's never seen his brother like actually sleep. He's always up at weird hours.
Well, do you go, like, knocking on his door?
Yes.
Okay, you do so. You don't get any response.
And he will wait for nightfall.
Okay.
No point waking up the entire house just to talk to the brother.
He's actually just in the training yard.
You wait till an appropriate time as your family all kind of gets up and going. They're all happy to see you and curious why you're home so soon.
He responds, I ran into a bit of trouble and I need Lauren's advice.
Well, they tell you that he's been working in the city during the day, so he should be back at some point this evening. And almost as if on cue, the door opens and Lauren comes in, seemingly exhausted. He sees you and he's like, "Ah, Anas. Welcome back."
Well, looks like you're a bit tired, so I had a question, but I'm going to be here for a little bit, so I'll just ask once you're fully rested.
No, let's just get it out of the way now.
Okay. Know any techniques to defend the mind against something that tries to control you?
No.
Okay.
Glad we had this talk, brother.
Pats him on the shoulder as he leaves. Try not to work too hard.
I would so love to not work so hard. If it wasn't for some errant young brother and cousin of mine, I probably wouldn't be working as hard as I am now. But someone had to start a revolution. He waves his hand in the air. Before, like, slunking to his broom.
Immediately disturbed by the Wilhelm scream of Trey being, like, tossed through a trading yard. A kid. Finwood's too tired emotionally to be sparring right now.
Alright. Afterwards, he doesn't bother his brother, so. And that's really has nothing much to do aside casually exploring the city in his off time while they wait.
Yeah, what do you even buy in a city?
Oh no, he's window shopping. He should wanders.
Yeah, but, like, what's the point of all this stuff?
You do notice some new construction going on in the city. It's been a week, though, so not a lot has been done.
Is it in a specific section or is it just throughout the city?
Somewhere centralized in the city, but beyond that, you can't really discern what it could be.
Okay. Makes a mental note of it to come back after it's built. Figure out what it is.
Looks.
Do I want to replace my armored long coat?
I mean, you might need to purchase a few armor sets if Finwith keeps going Ignis form on you.
Is it even worth it at that point?
I mean, an armored long coat +5 is a gold piece, which isn't bad for adventures.
It's true.
Nah, I like the initiative too much.
What do you mean the initiative?
Oh, because if I stack the fur and the armored long coat, I take a
stacking
minus
armor.
20 penalty, yeah.
Well, you guys have a few days. Is there anything else you do?
At one point, Finwith does if we're around Radovan during that time, kind of like catch by the sleeve, just you know lots of stuff here. I don't know what this is, and maybe you know. Rifles around for a moment and pulls out proudly his staple remover.
Hmm.
Kind of like rolls it down into his hand and like clicks it together for a moment. We found it in the place.
It used to belong to some small
It makes a little snick.
beasts. I've never seen anything like this before. Oh no, it's obviously some kind of construction.
I don't know, it was in one of their their little rooms with like all of the paper.
I honestly have no idea. I've seen springs like this used before, but mostly in clockwork. This doesn't look like any kind of clock to me.
No, it'd be a real shit one.
Indeed, it doesn't tell time. Well, I can ask some associates of mine to see if we can identify what this piece is.
Well, I don't think it's magical. He like pulls it out. He just clicks. It doesn't have any type of like markings on it.
Maybe it's
Definitely no
for
runes.
making holes in leather.
Oh, it could be for seams, maybe.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? I bet they use that to undo stitches and hems.
He just nods, like, yeah. No, that sounds right. Thanks.
Yeah, mystery solved.
This way.
There's some Black Sun receptionist just screaming in agony somewhere on the continent.
Change my staple river to him ripper.
To be fair, you're trying to discern what technology does based on technology you don't know exists.
That's
But
true.
yeah,
The staple isn't a thing yet.
it does not know. You think these people could do mass production of like alloy products to make staples?
Probably not.
So yeah, it makes the most sense based on what you have.
Yep.
So-
And Finwith like makes stuff, so it seems about right to him. It's a bit fancier of a tool than he's used to, but hey, if it works, it's pretty hardy. It's got like it's made out of metal. Though it'd have to be for tougher materials because you don't want to like accidentally like leave imprints where you don't mean to, cut the wrong stuff. It's not very sharp, so it definitely has to be for like getting a good grip on something.
Mystery solved.
It's the smartest thing Finn has ever done, and he's wrong. But yeah, there's not too much in Rosencrantz for him to do, though. Like, when Anas goes to walk around, he'll join him and probably draw a bunch of stupid eyes, but, you know. The wings make him feel comfy.
I can't wait to hear all the conversations in my head about him asking about the stupid pieces of fashion and why people need to wear so many layers of such useless fabric.
Oh no, Alexia and I both know why. Southerners are just like that. And you Easterners are just like Southerners, so... It's okay, you got the Southerner brain rot, it's not your fault. You were just raised like this. You think that, like, these coats are good, like, winter clothes? Not a single strip of fur on them. Dumb.
Stop it when he has a family.
I like how in all of those kind of like Southerners, Sebastian, the man from the South, is like, yeah, you're right, completely right.
True story.
He's not quite an honorary Goldarian, but he's been there long enough. None of their shit makes sense.
Yeah.
Most of the reason boils down to we have the money for it, though. And our lives are in constant peril, so we don't need to go as extra as you guys.
When was the last time we made money?
At the beginning of the campaign, when you started with your gold value.
No, we got a
ring.
reward. We did get rings for the bear pelts. That's it. That's the only time we got paid was the bear pelts. We haven't bought anything else.
I have like 40 gold total.
That's a lot of money.
It is, but like compare it to our other Anima games.
I have 50 gold pieces that I started out with, because I'm a fucking noble.
I made some, but I bought a few little random items that then I didn't need anymore.
I have 26 gold and 28 silver.
It's like
The
whenever
rings.
you play like a game of Dungeons and Dragons, like, why would I ever buy anything? I'll literally find it in a dungeon somewhere, I guarantee.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we don't even like find the stuff that we need because we haven't really needed anything. All of our characters are pretty self-sufficient, so it's like, oh, well, we're running kind of low on rations. Goes and hunts because we're competent individuals. Butcher it for meat. Done. That's pretty much it. You need water? Oh, cool. We'll just melt some snow.
Damn, self-sufficient parties.
The only thing
New
that we had to
clothes?
sustain is our gallons of oil that we need for the winter.
It's really
Yeah, I think that's like literally the only thing that we've actually had to buy was the oil canteen.
We didn't have to buy it. We got... Oh no, we bought the first one, but we got the second one for free because Alexi's like, could you give us that? Because we kind of shattered this one.
But yeah, no, that's it. We don't even have to do like upkeep on like the furs that we have because if we're hunting and butchering things, then we can just skin them, treat the hide as we go, then gradually replace armor as we go.
I guess just the benefits of a party that just doesn't need a lot. A bunch
If we have
of jocks.
this discussion anywhere near Radovan, he's going to insist that we get out of Rosencrantz before Serena finds out we're back, just in case.
What are you talking about? He's gonna be like, oh my god, you all need stuff now.
And I mean, we already have a backpack filled with good equipment for climbing and survival, so...
That's
What
true.
else could you need?
What else do we need?
You know, the two people who can fucking fly, one of which who can make the others fly with their mind. And one can teleport through the shadows. We definitely need climbing gear.
We might. We never know. Like, Sebastian's power could just shut off in that fucking place. Just because shenanigans.
I still love that moment where we're like climbing them out, and you're like, okay, yeah, I get up my climbing gear, I get ready, and then like everyone else just floats up, and you're like, huh, I guess. I see how it is.
We'll need climbing gear eventually. Shifty eyes.
Heck, it was even mentioned when we had the ice sniper because of the ice wall.
Yeah.
I mean, Sebastian doesn't have time to go back and pick me up and carry me over the wall.
Except he does, and you're like halfway up the wall with your climbing gear.
I'll be
Oh,
sure
goodness.
next chance I have to like ferry us, I'll let you start climbing. I'll let you get like almost there. You're like ready to get over it, and then just whoop, whoop, right in the surface.
Thanks for the assist.
You better break you in half with one punch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Aside from that, Anas would purchase maybe armor care supplies while he's here.
Okay. You get some armor lacquer and some repair tools, pliers, and the like, and then you realize you have no crafting skill whatsoever.
Maybe he'll come across someone that does.
Maybe.
Just purchase a book of like armor care for dummies. Like find some like manuscript of like how to care for your armor.
Please
Armoring
don't think
101.
that exists.
Come on,
It doesn't. We're in the time of
apprenticeships, like
Apprenticeship,
you
yeah.
can't pick up a book.
all books are either like historic or fantasy.
Finland's voice, I can't read.
Sometimes those lines get a little mixed too. But anyway, after a few days, Radovan sends like a courier to wherever you guys are staying, and you all arrive at his penthouse. And he comes out with arms full of like jewelry, it looks like. He's like, the items you have all requested. Here you go, and he hands you these really big gold medallion looking things with like inserted gems into them. They're kind of gaudy.
Finwith isn't sure, like, he's like, this seems like really, really over the top and unneeded, but at the same time, ooh, shiny.
I've been told that these are meant to lock your emotional states so that they cannot be altered by outside forces.
Well, if they work, thanks.
I'm sorry, I'm unfortunately no magician.
And then it like immediately like puffs up, so I was like, no, I'm sorry, that sounded mean. Thank you. More thank you if they do work. Because I don't know how it does things.
Unfortunately, I know what you're all doing is dangerous, and I wish I could provide you something more than, oh, here this works, but that's just the situation we find ourselves in. Unfortunately, I had to petition for individuals to invest in this endeavor so that, you know, this angel of madness could be dealt with. There are a few individuals who are interested in such and were able to provide such materials, I've been told, anyway. And this has all been magically transported to us recently, so.
Putting on the medallion, does Sebastian notice anything? I mean, if it messes with his emotional state, I feel like Sebastian could tell.
You feel nothing when you put it on.
Okay.
He said it doesn't change it, it just locks it, so.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to be depressed forever, you could make yourself really, really sad with a movie where the dog dies and then slap that thing on.
That would be a really funny character concept. It's just this like sad character, and then they finally remove this amulet, and then they're like, "Oh, I feel better."
You know, it'd be even.
Is that the whole arc?
You know, it would also be. It'd be kind of sad, depending on what happens in the campaign. Literally the opposite. Like something really good happens, they slap it on, and you just have an eternally happy person who like feverishly is like, "Don't take off my medallion. I need it."
I don't get many wins in my life, and this is the one that's locked.
I'm gonna
stuck
cling
with it.
to it.
Someone said my hair looked nice 5 years ago. That's all I'm running on.
Someone gives you a gift and you're like, hold on. This is a risk. Takes it off, slaps it back on. Thank you. That was so nice of you. I feel true love for the first time, and I will live like this forever.
This person you have all imagined must be the most miserable person on the planet.
Well, congratulations. They finally beat Doc. And Astrid.
That's why you take the one advantage point in fucking Artifact. It's just for that. That's it.
Still sound
I
like a fun
should
character.
mention, this prevents you from being influenced from outside sources.
I like our
I
version
know,
better.
but it's so funny.
I like that it's just a mood lock in place. No, this is much better.
No, it's not, trust me.
No, that's the point. It's an awful magic item, but it's like you could
It's like
make
a
such a cool
cursed
character.
magic item.
It's such a maladaptive coping mechanism.
Totally.
And Nas will accept the amulet and says, don't give yourself enough credit, Radovan. You got us to start talking. May not be a magical magician, but you managed to get us to talk. We would have probably sat and stewed for a lot longer if you hadn't said anything.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I was talking more about this situation than that, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment in us.
Puts on locket.
Offered shit with shovel.
Sorry.
Do you require us to return this to you once we finish?
No, they told me that these materials are rather cobbled together, and thus it's not going to be the most... well, they might not last for a very, very long time. Long enough for you to do your mission, though.
But
Bad stuff does kind of happen to some of the equipment around us. That's fair.
any help that will prevent me from crossing my blade on my friends, I appreciate.
Yes, I imagine you would. It's a big sword.
Oh yeah, no, it hurts a lot.
I don't need to know about your, the way you all take out your frustrations on each other. Or just the way you guys haphazardly end up injuring each other. I like to believe that you're all great friends.
We also do that for fun.
We have fought like a lot of times just for fun. Admittedly, I normally don't get like almost cut in half. That was kind of a special case. But I'm pretty tough, so it was okay.
Well, I'm not one to judge other cultures.
As the conversation just progresses, Anash's face just slowly gets more and more in his hands.
The Vikings allowed out in public.
That does remind me that I still need to spar you, and he points to Sebastian and us.
Oh no, is this the sparring episode?
We said it would be. No.
But maybe after we deal with the situation.
Afterwards.
Yeah, we'll kill an angel thing, and then yeah, we can recover and fight.
After my other business.
Yeah. No, we just go. Dogs. Never mind. Every time I click it, she starts again.
It's good to see that the wildlife is coming back.
Hey, that's that dog, Rude got shit. Got
Nature is
shit on his
recovering.
shoes for dog to clean.
It's like, where's that coming from? We're 10 stories off the ground.
Look out the window.
There's just a flying dog.
And seen thousands of things weirder.
Seance dog. A reference you'll only get if you watched Invincible. Anyway. Yeah. So, with that, essentially these lockets prevent you guys from being affected by supernatural influences on your emotions. That does
Hell.
not prevent you from any emotional states you currently have or personally get. Also, I should mention these necklaces are not quality. So, if anything were to strike your body, it will probably damage these.
Fair.
Where is it under the armor? Also, because it's gaudy as fuck. But it cleaves to the armor.
But that being the case, you guys now have some tool at least to avoid being affected.
Now have members amulets. Hell yeah. But Alexi will put it on. Kind of grimaces at it, but he's still wearing like a weird fucking headpiece thing. So
Yeah, it's they're like grapefruit sized circular gold medallions with some intricate designs on them and a variety of gemstones implanted into it in places. On short notice, that's about the best they could do as far as quality in items.
It's fine. This party's already got like a weird mix of cobbled together trinkets and like disgustingly strong bullshit. So.
And that's Anima for you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess we return to the temple. Where Finwith proceeds to avoid Olin like the plague.
Alrighty, so, you guys get back. Oh, I gotta change the calendar. 1 second. I did not think of this.
it's almost my negative 989th birthday.
Someday I'll have access to atomic restructuring. Someday.
Someday.
I'll stick to ground
That's gonna
control
be
for now.
terrifying.
Oh, of course. It's fucking. I have to make a 280. Well, technically 240, but meh. That's still a lot. I have a 120 bonus to my my potential.
Then he'll have the ultimate weapon against doors. He'll just turn them into something else.
Exactly. Oh, I could then get us money because I can turn things into things like like gold coins. I'll make us rich. I'll destroy the Anima economy.
We don't need the Anima economy. We're a bunch of fucking hermits living off grid.
I actually think the powers in the shadows actually look very down on that. So
They're gonna get
That
mad at me
also
trying
might
to
consider.
manipulate the economy.
There is an in-game force against magically produced currency, yes.
Ah, of course there is.
If you do it too extensively, they will murder you.
Too much
no.
time magic, they murder you. Too much spatial magic, they murder you. Too much power in general, they murder you. Too rich,
they try to recruit you, and
Maybe
then
they
you deny
murder
them,
you.
then they murder you.
I can't wait for the campaign where we get hunted down by fantasy IRS. Sounds like a great time.
held
The
at
powers
gunpoint,
that be
want us to die.
in Anima are just canonically a GM trying to maintain world balance.
Yeah.
Except they get cool mech suits for their self-insert DM PCs.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
God, I fucking hate Anima. Such a stupid game. Fucking mech suits descend.
Oh, trust me. If you really want to live the Anima experience, read the descriptions of their key techniques.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you want to create an annihilating spear that deletes everything in a 30-foot radius with the power of pure rancor?
That's from Star Wars.
Or do you want to obliterate
Rancor is a
everything in a
word,
3-mile
Alex.
radius?
Star Wars.
Rancor is just a word that means anger. AJ?
Oh my god, this is like fucking... Oh god, what was that word from Wednesday?
I don't
There
remember.
There goes Cameron with those college terms again.
The fucking Harvard word you used a few days ago.
It wasn't even that big of a word. What was it? Oh, right, it was aggregate.
Yeah. Fucking SAT English word you used.
Oh my god. Alex, I don't know what you were doing in high school, but it wasn't the same thing as Cameron and I.
Not paying attention, that's one.
Not reading books like a nerd.
Fucking cursed. Anyway, we were playing this game so we can beat up an angel so we can beat up each other fondly.
That's fair. So you guys get back. It is early morning when you arrive. You go in and down into the facility. It's
Before we go in, when he puts the medallion on, is there still that like gnawing sense of paranoia still there?
yes.
Is it noticeable enough, or is it still like really subtle, so like Finland doesn't want to mention it?
It's
I'm
getting
fine
to the
that way.
point where you don't know if it was actually just you or not anymore.
That's fair, right? Then he just has the medallion on. Assumes that this
Alrighty.
thing's supposed to stop outside stuff, so it must just be him. Apparently he was more unsettled by what all happens than he thought.
As you guys go in and through the facility, it's disturbing how unchanged everything is. As you're going through, you see in front of the control room, like the glass is still on the floor, and you just get the sensation that you feel like you recognize every single piece.
You can see
As
all
it
of
had
our
been
own
there.
dusty footprints places.
Yeah. You go out. As you're crossing the large field of Area 2, you can see the large chunk of ground missing that Finwith tried to dig through at some point. It's like everything is locked in stasis. It's a very uncomfortable situation. Alexi, you can still vaguely sense that life form in Area 3.
All right, there was a different one other than the room with the guy in it, huh?
Yeah, there's a final one.
But unless you guys go deal with that, you guys pass by. You head into the hidden facility at the back. All the bodies are still there.
Do you need to make your little machine thing?
It'll only last for a short amount of time. I'll have to
Yeah.
create it when we actually find it.
And I might be misremembering something, but didn't you say you wanted to test it out on the other one first?
It might be a good idea. I have a feeling I might be able to make something that could damage a soul. I'm not convinced it would actually be able to connect.
Well, I mean, if the other thing isn't like it, then it wouldn't show you if it would work or not.
It would at least put me more at ease rather than going in blind.
And you can do it again.
Yes.
Alright, well, then. Do we want to go ahead and do that one first?
I think we should.
Kind of had the conversation probably crossing the grass before we get all the way there.
It's a big,
Yeah.
it's pretty massive. You can easily get this conversation done before even
Yeah.
getting close.
So we'll cut to the side and I guess set to tracking in the third section of the training rooms.
Do I think that at least now that we have these medallions, are the psychic inhibitors any use here?
No. At least,
Okay.
well, it's for emotional things, so
Yeah. And
There's no
it's like-
harm in
doesn't
having it on for us.
prevent them from like psychic deathing you, for instance.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it off because my bonus is pretty good, but
He wants
yeah,
that
it's
plus
really you.
20.
I do want that plus 20.
You're also the most capable of defending yourself.
Yeah.
So
What was the because you did research the powers on a bunch of them. What was the other one that you were gleaning, or was this one of the ones you didn't understand?
this was the one that had multiple psychic matrices coming from it.
Yep.
Okay.
None that he could like detect particularly. It didn't feel like someone who had just two different psyche or matrices or something. There's something off about it, more chaotic.
Hmm.
You all enter into this. Well, you get to the wall and you're come across your most powerful foe, a closed door.
Shatter.
Okay.
Actually, no. I use my my electromagnetism again. Let me pull up the shit. I'll
Is there
pull
a
up
key
the-
card panel near the door?
There's not.
Okay.
Let me pull up my electromagnet.
Now we can fix this easily. Come on, Alexi, let's just push the door in.
Is it just a regular door?
No, it's like a hidden panel door.
I'm going to use electricity control to try to open the door again.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a very difficult check. I just made physical resistance of 120. I can control up to 8 intensities.
Okay, that's adequate enough. You're still kind of getting used to the sensation, but the more you use the ability, the more you're kind of recognizing how these kind of things work. And you direct the electricity to the appropriate part, and you hit like an actuator, and the door goes as it just slowly opens, revealing to you all a dark room.
Remembering the rest of the like fuck zones the other rooms were, then it does kind of just like, let's see, what was it? Ah, yes, kind of just, hey, can I see that bow really quick? Whoever has it in their equipment at the moment.
Oh, the +5 bow?
Yeah.
Yeah. He, Alexi will pull it out and hand it to you.
tosses it in there.
Okay.
See if it disappears into the blackness, suddenly suctions to the ceiling, explodes into fire. You never know.
That's fair.
It is an object rather than a person, but we have seen it affect objects too, so.
You throw it in there and it disappears into the darkness for those who don't have dark vision. If you do have night vision, it just clatters to the floor.
Alright.
Do we hear anything after it clatters to the floor?
Roll for me a search.
As Fenwith steps over the threshold. He does the unsure, about to jump into a cold pool, and then steps over.
You do so. Nothing happens.
Oh no, I'm in so much pain. What's the word? Agony. I'm in agony, yeah. Sucks.
Agony.
As he, reaches down and picks up the bow.
Oh, that's an old reference, Cameron.
I was looking over my psychic abilities because I wanted to try something here. I guess I miswrote it, so I wrote this psychic ability as perceive election. I don't know how.
The president!
Um,
You detect all elected officials within a certain radius.
A very fair reaction to detecting a president.
The strange part is that there's 50 of them nearby.
Can I use perceive electricity? I want to see if maybe there's some following wiring, even if it's turned off, to figure out is there a way to turn on the lights in here?
Sure. Go ahead and unask for what you rolled, 137. As the bow kind of clacks to the ground, or whatever, you listen quietly. Kind of echoes through. You sense a disturbance in the air, but you don't hear anything. It just seems like, I don't know. It's hard to perceive. You know there's something in this room anyway. But it doesn't seem close.
That's a 150-foot radius. I can detect electricity within the area.
Okay. You do so. There's a sudden pulse, and you become intimately aware of all the wiring around you, surrounding this section. There's a lot of electricity going everywhere, and it kind of all extends up and is going through the ceiling. But you're noticing that there's certain gaps where the electricity isn't connecting to something. You don't have night vision, so you don't know what these things are. But you can definitely tell that there's some kind of ambient and it's very low level electricity for some of this. Into this room, the electricity is very, very, it's less than an intensity.
Fenwith lights the lamp for the non-night vision folks.
Okay. This one has very large, kind of open corridors. It's supposed to represent a urban setting, so they're street-sized corridors, tall-ish structures that act as buildings. The light source does not reach the ceiling.
Is this southern or urban?
Do you
yes,
ask
the house
Fenwith to
is
flap?
very few wooden or straw structures.
Do you ask him to check the ceiling, or are you just going to float up there with the lantern?
And
I'm
also,
assuming you're
you're
maintaining this. Or do you just pulse out and then stop?
I'll maintain it.
Okay.
I mean, flying with the lantern, that give us more light.
Just to see the ceiling where the gaps are.
Okay, that might help them. He would ask you.
Yeah, sure. So he'll take the lantern and flutter up on top of one of the structures and wait for you to join him up there.
Yeah, he floats up there too.
Okay. You float up. and you see these large panels of some kind of glass material. You've seen them before. These are the fluorescent lighting in the ceiling, and for some reason the electricity is kind of going around it, and it's not connecting to those kind of same actuating points that you felt before.
Could I try to use electricity control again?
You could.
As he like puts his hand like next to the lights, like touching the ceiling, he just says I would look away.
Checks around, clap the talons.
That is another 8 intensities of electricity.
Okay. Don't even need that much.
Yeah.
You do it. You hit it. It switches so easily. In fact, it's very strange, and it turns on. There's a wah from that light. The sound of like fluorescent lighting. I'm sure everyone's heard. And you think about it, and you move your hand, and you can just turn on all the lights in an area around with very little effort. You only need to maintain 1 intensity to Harry Potter this shit. And the lights are all turned on, and you are at a kind of suburban neighborhood kind of setting. There's a lot of low buildings, about 1 story high, a few 2 stories high, variety of alleyways and main streets. And from this height, you can actually see something large with grayish skin lying face first down on one of these streets.
Kind of like looks at it, looks towards Finwith.
Finwith is over there going through like the facial Olympics of adjusting his eyes with the owl eyes. It's just like finally like seems to get a hold of it and sees you looking at him and quirks.
Turns toward like his head towards that.
Ooh. That it?
I assume so.
Do you want me to just like do the sword thing? Well, hold on. You maybe do the sword thing, but first he like clacks onto the edge of the building and kind of kneels down to like look down at the other two. I think we found it. It's over there. It's just like kind of like laying in the middle of the like tunnel.
Looks up, instantly blinded by the lights.
Yeah, feeling that.
Like, Alexei, not nearly as effective as the other two, but still like the, I'm looking up,
Yeah, his eyes are like the huge disc of like the like owl iris, which is like this teeny little black speck.
Horrifying.
well, I can still feel its energy, so it might just be sleeping right now.
Now that you're in the room, you detect that its life force is incredibly weak.
I mean, if I looked like that too, I'd probably just lay down in the middle of a tunnel and wait for something to kill me.
Well,
It's not looking too good.
Not that I actually have a better sense, though. Thanks. It actually might be dying.
makes it a stationary test subject. As Sebastian just starts floating over there, pulling out the command box.
Uh-oh. But yeah, I'd say he kind of like begins to like walk along the edge of the building with a. It's got like that color, you know, when like something drowns and just skin just isn't right. Yeah, it's looking a lot like
It's
that.
very accurate, actually.
Also,
That's
yeah,
because he's a genius. Thank you, Cameron, for recognizing his brilliance. 11 intelligence, this one.
That's a lot of intelligence.
it is.
I know he doesn't have 11 intelligence. That's the joke.
Oh.
You think I have 11 intelligence on Finwith?
Oh.
He does have a surprising 6.
Also, the idea of Sebastian going swish and flick. I know the moment's kind of passed a little bit, but it's so funny.
Sebastian monotone, just using the Harry Potter spells.
Anyway,
Oh, he's going, so you guys should really, like, get to trotting.
All right, we shall move. And he'll start running down this town? Yeah.
neighborhood, but yeah, more or less. As you're getting closer, Sebastian, and from your higher vantage point, you're starting to see more and more. This is like this is a giant of an individual. Massive size. They probably are about 16, 17 feet tall. Massive individual.
Holy shit.
They're using the psychic, like, physical augmentation ones? Gone horribly wrong.
And they are nude, face down, in like a street, like partially destroying one of the smaller buildings next to it. But obviously this has happened a bit ago, and so the structure, there's no like falling rubble or anything. This must have happened like maybe a day or so ago.
Actually, now that the lights are on, can we see how tall this room is?
Yes, this room is about 40 feet tall.
That's enough room for a bear.
That is enough room for a bear.
Hopefully it's not needed.
Then at least Sebastian, once he reaches it and is like looking over it, he's waiting for everyone else to at least be there in case something happens. He wants people backing him up.
Once you reach it and you're kind of just waiting, you can hear a discordant wheeze coming from this thing. Kind of like a more organic sounding accordion when you just kind of like slowly press it together. I'd have a voice for it, but voice mod decided to fuck up today, so
Yeah.
But you hear like a big rumble, like, and then a bunch of other like variety of tones, just creating this inhuman wheezing sound.
But is it clearly like responding to us? Or is it just
No.
making okay.
Or at least not to Sebastian, that he's arrived. As you all start to arrive, you can hear, within about like 20 feet of it, the sound emanating
Fenwith just
from it.
quietly glides on the owl wings over, clattering on top of one of the buildings. Looks to Sebastian, see what he's doing.
He is currently looking over the box as he is trying to finalize any ideas he has for it. Going over any sort of like ideas and concepts. Out of game, I'm looking over the creation of a creature rules again. Because it's been a while since I've done this and like looked over it.
Okay.
I know it has 20 Gnosis. How much DP does that give me? Or 20 Gnosis, then 10 for each level over. And I have a guaranteed 2 levels of success over the check. 40.
Sorry. Tell me all the rules for it again.
So, it's DC 120 tactics roll. It creates a level 1 construct creature of Gnosis 20. Oh, so 100 DP. Then, right?
No. A level 1 creature has 600 DP.
Oh, shit. Alright. Increases the construct's level by 1 for each level of success over 120. I have 2 guaranteed levels because I have a plus 200 to my tactics.
Every level after the 600 increases it by 100.
Okay. Takes its turn at the end of initiative and then disappears. Cannot use magic or psych abilities. Yep, and I was just going over the creation rules again. I've done this before. It's been a hot minute. But basically, all he was going to do is be able to attack, or have an energy attack. Make sure it can hit well and hit hard. Basically, all it does is deals damage. That's all he wants it to do.
Okay. I mean, that's really easy to do.
It's super easy.
Let me read the energy attack.
Yeah, because that's the important thing. He wants to get to work.
Because I think there's a rule hole here. Or it might not actually be a rule hole, but it's just kind of one of those weird oddities. Let's see. This is... Where was the attack? Supernatural attack. Here we go. Yeah, cost 60. Okay, normal attack method for this being can only be stopped using weapons or power. Okay, so it uses its stats. Okay. Let's see. I mean, it's easy enough to do. Where is... Here we go. Characteristic. Wow, you can get up to a 14.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's... Say 100, half out of... Let's see... 175... Or, sorry, not 175... Plus it's...
Suzanne, send me what you're drawing.
Fuck, what's an attribute of 14 actually give?
An attribute of 14?
That would get you to the plus 25 range.
It does indeed. Alright. So that's 100. And then you could push that 125. Easy peasy. Plus that. God, this thing is gonna have a very high attack, even at level 1.
Yep. And then it can have more to invest based on how well I roll.
Yep.
Which I guess in this case, since we're building it, why don't we just roll for it right now? And we have a definite
Sure.
number.
I'm trying to make the level 1 because then leveling it up past that's really easy.
Yeah. That is 263.
So I had to go into the monster book to pick up one of its other powers. Range, natural weapon. Okay, yeah, easy. Alright, and then base damage. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. You need the natural weapon tag for that. That makes sense.
Oh, I forgot to fucking level up Finn with.
Oh no.
Well,
I'll be
now's a
doing that.
good
Don't worry
time.
about it.
It's a good time. By the
He is
way,
but a simple man.
Twitch stream. If any of you are interested in looking at these monster rules with us, I put a link to the core book in the Discord.
It's a good
It's all
idea.
the way in the back.
You
I-
too can enjoy the hell that is Anima. And it's super over the top everything that we're all hopelessly addicted to.
Alrighty. So at level 1, it can have a 125 attack for a natural weapon range attack that does 120 damage base. Is a supernatural attack that attacks, I think, on the energy table, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that
That's
real
what
quick.
that's at least what it said.
Yep. Attacks on the energy table. Oh, God. And, yeah. And then every time you level it up. So
I
for
would
every
dump
level.
it into the attack bonus. So
Yeah. Every time you level up, that would increase its attack by. It's hard because it's half of 25.
yeah,
So by 13, I guess,
for each level.
for each level.
Okay. And what level would my construct be with the 260 I got?
It's for every level above the DC. So what did you get?
260.
And what's the DC?
120.
So it's 140, 180, 240. So that's 3 extra levels.
Okay. So 39
Meaning-
extra attack.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like a 38 more
Okay.
on top of that. So that would be a grand total of 163.
All right. All right. As he kind of focuses on it for a bit, he finalizes on a design. Something basic, something easy, something he knows. As the box just opens up and constructs itself into a what just looks like a metallic kind of bronze colored sword, as on the cross guard, and it's just a basic longsword as a it's cross guard, and on the bottom of it, I think the pommel is what it's called. These little protrusions pop up, these little cylinders, and as he holds it, he kind of tosses it lightly in the air, and little jets of flame spew out, holding it like upwards, just floating, propelling itself. There is some light beeping noises that get rapidly faster and faster as it rapidly pivots and turns to face the creature, and then the little propulsion jets of flames burst larger and just rocket itself towards it.
Okay, roll its attack.
All right. All right, so plus 168.
163.
63. Thank you. Plus the funny number. That is 232.
Okay. It does 230% of its damage.
230.
Yes.
Ah, man, I gotta ride the high of Arthur damage again. That's 276.
Okay. So it goes, the sword itself becomes coated in like this energy, and just shing just flies through and just completely cleaves through this creature all the way through before the sword disappears. And blood just starts gushing from it. There's some gurgled wheezing before it finally stops.
And he psychically brings the sword back. Oh my god, Discord. He psychically brings the sword back as it, in midair, begins to turn back into the command box.
Feel like harvesting a soul or two?
I probably should. How long does it last?
Probably
So
should.
fucked up.
Probably should.
Not normally the answer to the question of, hey, should we steal that soul?
Well,
May as well test out that new ability.
you're right. I see the divinity ghost. My eyes go red. I see only blood. It does happen just passively to something that has died next to me. So technically I do get it.
I mean, you can always opt not to do so.
He does. He's gonna take it.
Okay.
He's stealing this soul.
Strangely, as you hold out a hand, and within your hand manifests the dagger, it begins to pulse, and it pulses about 5 times.
Oh shit. Even better.
To be fair, 5 kids were missing.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, my sword's bigger. Does more damage.
Grim.
Yeah.
Finwith just staring at you, holding a dagger out. Well, that's not the ice one. Wait, did you melt the ice one?
No.
Okay.
This is from Horcrux.
The feathers kind of like shrink in a little bit. Oh, right.
Not a fan of the guy, but this will help us fight this thing. It'll give me an option.
Not really a fan of like how he fights, but I was a fan of killing him. That was fun.
I can imagine.
I think he's mad about it.
He hasn't mentioned it. I also regret to inform you that he will not be able to enact revenge. I know how much you would enjoy that.
Well, no, because then he'd be in your body, so.
I guess that's fair.
I guess I could, like, fight you if he can't use your brain stuff. Then, like, I guess I could break your arms so he couldn't do anything, but I'd really rather not do that.
Do what you have to.
I mean, I know you don't need to use them because you can, like, use your brain for stuff,
I
but
don't need it.
I really don't want to break your arms. He kind of, like, adjusts on the edge of the ledge before he silently just glides off.
He uses his psychic trapping to like make psychic fucking
Braces.
braces.
Sebastian in his head going like, oh, if I just didn't have arms, that nothing would change.
Actually, you would become more aerodynamic. That's about it. You'd lose a bit of weight that you have to levitate around. Alright, well, the last one's put out of its, misery and all. Time to go deal with the big one. Small one? It's small now, I guess, compared to that. But I saw it. Yeah, scritches at the back of his neck.
Do you feel comfortable now that you've tested it?
I do.
Alexia will walk over to this thing and like, it's really fucking big, right?
Yeah. It's a giant, essentially. A Jotun.
He'll try flipping it over.
You're relatively strong enough to do so. You flip over its torso, as it was like pretty much cleaved nearly down the middle.
Spews some more blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
bleeding a ton. As you
Like a
flip it
stuck
over,
boar.
you see uh it has a somewhat kind of like masculine form. It's got like this large beefy looking like shoulder, collarbone, chest. Its head is a rounded dome, kind of like the Juggernaut, with a large mouth and eyes. You can also see several faces along its collarbone. One recently now cleaved off. Just morphed into the skin. And through the one that was cleaved off, you can see that there is literally a skull and like brain and organs there that had fused into it.
So curiously, Cameron, much like the pH room and everything else you've given us little tidbits of, could that have actually hurt us at all, or is it just a sad sop of shit?
This thing was a threat a few days ago. If you want to know what it could do, it had 5 psychic matrices it could use,
Oh shit.
and it uses a random psychic ability every round. On top of that, it's a giant juggernaut of a beast.
Kind of like looks over at then with. Did you want to take a trophy? I don't.
You
know.
get a bark of a laugh that goes like too high pitched to like a bit of an owl screech, and you are harshly reminded that this is in fact a screech owl form, as the sound is ungodly. Ha! No.
I didn't think so. I just thought I should ask though.
I don't know if it can do the brain stuff if I have it, and I'm not sure I want. They're not doing too good. I use pieces of stuff because normally when I try to kill them, it's tough to. This one was very easy. I don't want to turn into that.
That is fair. Kind of like looks over a little bit more and grimaces at like the 5 contorted. I guess 4 contorted, 1 missing child faces, and then walks away from it.
You stop typing. I don't
It's
trust DMs
me.
typing during game.
Well, I was asked a question mechanically.
I didn't
Okay,
want to
then you're
interrupt.
allowed to.
roleplay. I was asking a question about damage additions.
I keep trying to shift and realize I'm blocking Acer. Can't have that. Need cat cam.
At least
Where
it's not
is
eating-
Ripley?
eating
Front
friends.
room, most likely.
He hasn't realized I have nuggets yet. He will start screaming when he does.
I'm certain I'm going to. I'm gonna do a little bit of measurement and probably shopping tomorrow. I'm probably gonna get a cat treat on my bed, so she might spend more time in here. Then we would have cat cam.
Technically, Cameron also has cat cam. Cat cam is just a very small sliver of black in the background.
Yep.
She was having a good time earlier ripping open her curtains and releasing the light of the heavens into Cameron's camera.
Alrighty. Anyway, so, did you understand that, Alex?
Yeah. My shit got a little scarier now.
Well, it's just like, it's like any other sword you would use.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that like I didn't know if it was a set damage you intended or I would get the same bonus for any weapon. I want to make sure before I assume.
No, the base damage I gave you is just for the weapon itself.
Still, it was a magic thing. I didn't want to accidentally be doing more damage than I should have.
That's fair.
We don't need Arthur to Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, of course. I have a mini Arthur now with that sword if it can hit. But
The next season of Anima should be a little bit more power balanced. Couple changes to the key stuff at least. Magic is always going to be magic, and thus is always going to be as terrible as you make it.
Well, if the Arbiter game isn't going to be broke, I don't know what is.
my broken
Well, yeah.
Phase 3.
Phase 2, technically. But
No, I meant like if the Arbiter game isn't broke, what would be? Phase 3 would be.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, the Arbiter game is still going to be broke. I'm
Yeah,
just
because they're all
changing
with
multi-attack for the most
That's
part.
fair.
Multi-attack's a little broken.
I am.
Really? 400 damage, 7 bullet shot?
Yeah. It's not-
It will now be like 4 bullet shot if
Yeah.
my estimates are correct on the changes. So
Did Nas want the chance to try 5 blood types at once? Grim.
Let's see. If you do bring it up to him, he pauses for a minute, mainly because his ears are still ringing from the owl screech.
Oh,
Has
actually,
any-
probably wouldn't bring it up.
And I think it's fair that every interaction he's had with these kids has been not revulsion, but pity. Mainly because, from what Sebastian has described and the files and all of that, to Anas, this is a fate these children did not deserve. And it's fair just to put them out of their misery.
Fair. We're gonna run into somebody later that is like, yeah, I'm really good at fixing people who have transformed into monsters, and we're gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm actually the High Inquisitor. I'm a good friend of the High Inquisitor of Mercy. I'm the High Inquisitor of fixing people's fucked up shit. And I can fix pretty much anything if people just, make the contact and look for me. I normally reach back out to people when I hear that they need help. I specifically am very good at saving children from gruesome fates brought on by magic or scientific experimentation. And we're just like, we killed about 22 of them. Or however many we're at this point.
I don't know. The kill count is quite high. I believe it's 14.
Well, this one counts as 5.
It's true.
That only counts as 1. Sorry.
Anywho, so what do you guys do?
So, just the last one now.
Just the last one.
Well, Anas and I can't actually hurt it, but we'll go with you. But your sword thing, Alexi, should be enough to take it out, yeah?
We can act as bodyguards at least. Because there is still the one living remaining in that room.
I don't think that guy's gonna do anything. I mean, he's welcome to try. I don't mind dashing him across the wall.
I do wonder, do we have a battle strategy that we should think about, or?
Give me a minute. Let me come up with something.
Oh, I thought it was both of you slash with sword, it dies. No more attacking each other. And
It is
then we're
essentially.
done.
The problem is I have actually not seen this thing.
Oh.
Trust me, you don't want to.
Well, maybe if you just slash where it was last time, it hasn't moved.
Maybe.
If anybody does see it, we can point it out.
Unfortunately, that would require me to go insane.
Well, maybe because you've seen it once, you'll still be able to see it.
We'll see.
And as well, if we do make an attack at it, keep your guard up at all times. It can redirect your attacks towards someone else. So stay on the defense constantly.
Wait, is that why you tried to stab Anas?
Yes.
There's just like a sigh from Anas as he just turns to walk back towards the field.
He kind of just waits from his perch above, watching everybody pass, little pinprick eyes. Takes a moment to scritch both hands at the back of his neck for a moment, getting underneath the feathers, and swoops down off. Follows.
So, y'all make the long walk.
I fly.
The long traversal
There you go.
to the rear facility. When you all come in, bodies are still all over the floor. Some bloodied footprints from when y'all made mad dash out of here.
Hey, how's the ice doing as far as melting on our way in?
Ice.
Because
Well,
From
it was
the
at the door.
fort. The fort of
Yeah,
ice.
Watch the door.
From
The
our sniper.
Nice
Because it was so
snipers.
old.
Oh,
So
from
compact.
the sniper. Okay. Yeah, that's before the facility. So I was getting really confused as to what you're talking about. It's been melting. It's mostly gone at this point.
When we first got into the grass, we definitely avoid the bloody patch from being bisected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, can't avoid the traces in this area of all of that shenanigans.
But yeah, I mean, beyond that, it doesn't look like this place has actually been in stasis. It's just no one's been down here.
Yep.
Nothing's been here to affect anything. So, you all walk up the set of stairs and kind of head down that long hallway. A sense of anxiety fills you. The fear that you might still go mad. You finally are there at the office looking in. You see the individual that you saw before laying on the ground, kind of face up and in some weird kind of delirious state. Do you all enter into the room?
Sebastian kind of fiddles with the medallion a little, subconsciously, and then steps in.
Alrighty. As you step into the room, you can see that it's more or less as you left it. The individual is there, laying down, looking, eyes half lidded. But as when you entered before, you don't see anything beyond that.
Alexei walks in.
Anas follows.
Okay, it's just as I described.
Finn hangs back at the door, still unnerved by everything, but they all seem to have it. They did last time, though, until somebody did something, but sturdies himself and kind of shoulders against the wall, and when he moves in, he immediately kind of cuts to the side, so he's still by the wall. Hoping having the wall to his back makes him feel a little steadier.
While they're in here, Sebastian is going to use a free psychic point to give temporary access to the detect matrices.
Okay.
Let me pull up that page.
I will say that's another one you could create permanently if you want.
I should.
It's up to
Actually,
you.
But how
actually,
often do you
instead,
fight psychics?
True.
I will say, in this specific situation, I'm just gonna fucking buy it because I have a single free point remaining. Let's just get it to 0. Fuck it. I'm buying Sense Matrices.
Okay.
That means you don't have any other points left, so
Yeah.
you can't buy the general access ones temporarily.
No, I have the 2 that I've been using. So. Yeah.
Also can't juice.
I can't juice my shit by 15 points. I can't
Or
make a
prevent
difference.
a psychic backlash as well. That's
Yeah.
another thing you can do with it.
That's true.
Let's hope you don't have to destroy Matricy before you destroy it.
I do have Destroy Matricy.
Okay, you did buy that one?
That's why
Yeah,
I'm doing
he
this,
bought it
because
last
I already
session.
bought that. Alright.
I was about to say, I'm not gonna like you to use it on him if you can't.
I didn't think you would actually buy it, but I was just like, I mean, it is a available thing.
Devin is min-maxing. Come on, look what you done.
That is... Oh, that's sad. I actually,
Not that you're actually a min-maxer. I
Right
would never
under.
accuse you of that.
was right under that one. That's going to be the 140, so I can recognize a power in use, detect latent powers, and see psychic matrices in 300 feet.
Okay. As you kind of open your senses up, it's strange. This place is hollow of all psychic ability, besides your own. Last time you did this, you saw a near concentrated force in the vague profile of the individual in the room. Now, you don't sense him.
Well, kind of like had his hand outstretched in like the same direction he saw it last time. Just kind of like lowers his hand slightly. Has an idea. Doesn't show it like usual. He's gonna go out on a hunch here. He's gonna pivot, point towards the man on the floor, and destroy Matricy.
You do so.
Maybe
Go ahead and
something
roll.
happens. I don't know, maybe something fun happens. That's another 170. So, difficult level.
Okay. You do so. The slight delirium that they seem to be into settles, and they just kind of relax a little bit, but they're still kind of out of it.
Yeah.
The individual is incredibly emaciated, as you saw them last time.
It's not getting any help from me. Man, there are two
And no
things.
longer are they clinging to their neck.
Okay. There are two things I was hoping here. First, maybe it was just possessing him in some way. Second, I hoped it would just come rushing that we just messed with its plaything.
Sebastian, what's going on? I haven't heard like any of the laughing and
I don't know. I don't sense anything in here, and any psychic abilities that could be going on, I just ended. It just kind of indicates toward the guy on the floor.
maybe it went somewhere else in here.
Maybe.
You recall that when you sensed matrices before, you saw threads of chaos kind of emanating throughout the entire place. Now you don't.
Can you not see it if you have the thing on? Maybe?
This is a gamble. I'll try.
No. He like immediately like there's the flare of wings as he reaches out, and he like goes half to grab you, and then like immediately stops before he gets anywhere close, but shuffles in place for moments. Maybe you can just, swing it where it was before first. Maybe it's still right there.
He just kind of he looks at you for a few seconds and then just his sword unsheaths and kind of like slashes out at that area.
Nothing happens.
Resheaths itself.
Well, like, maybe the one that, like, hurts souls.
If it's still here, I'm going to need to at least try to see it.
Well, Alexi, maybe you can cut a big area with the sword, right? Just one big arc. Maybe you'll get it.
I mean, if that's what we feel like we should do, I could do that.
I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but that doesn't come with a risk trying, right?
Alright. Alexi will walk over to the general area that Sebastian slashed at. We'll grab onto the hilt of the katana. And she'll try an area attack.
Okay. You pull the sword out and swing in a wide area. The incredibly white light of the sword swings and then fades at the end of your strike. Nothing happens.
And we didn't hear any laughter when we killed the other conglomeration of children.
Correct. The other amalgamate.
It is also possible that maybe it left.
There are two options here. And we'll see which one is more likely. I thank you for your concern, Finwa, as he does remove the medallion.
Nothing happens.
With sensing matrices, just nothing.
You don't detect anything.
He waits a few seconds, kind of just almost trying to hear something. Just kind of nods and puts the medallion back on.
There is something that I've been wondering for a while now. It is, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but it would make sense. How do all of these eat?
I'm not sure they do. They could have been made recently, when we first arrived.
We don't know how long since it's been since they got out the two things.
For all we know, they could also be like Radovan's friend. The guy with the strange weapons.
Oh, you mean Arthur? Yeah.
Didn't he say he didn't need to eat?
Not a lot. Still had to have like a little bit of stuff. For a bit, and no. Oh no, it's just sleep he needed. And no, he was kind of weird. Nice guy. Except for the kill stealing. No fun. Cheating.
He wasn't one of the children from here, was he? And he somehow got out? The door was closed.
No, he does what, like, Alexi does. I don't think he does any of the brain stuff.
If he did, I didn't sense it. Or they didn't mention it. It would have piqued my interest if he did.
But where's the thing? Like, you came here for it, right? Not just the place.
I came here for the facility. It being here was coincidental.
Did you never mention the dream, did you?
He mentioned at least something drew him here.
But you didn't mention, like, the thing that you saw in the dream that looked like it?
Nope.
Okay. Well, everything else is dead, besides him. Not that it's going to be long for him.
He can fall with the facility.
So, how do we destroy the facility? Especially with some of the doors have been sturdier than normal doors.
I'm going to use the ground around it to just demolish this building. It might take a long time. I can use a lot of time to prepare.
If it's easier from the outside, I can try and like dig down to it so you can get lower. If you can't do it from inside.
I would have to do it from outside. Otherwise, we would be killed.
Okay, then I can shift and bore down, and you can do that then.
Yeah, that would help actually. It would give me more of the facility to destroy.
A thought comes to you for a second, Sebastian. If 091 graduated from here, where would they keep that information?
Inside the scientist, of course. Cracks him open.
Rip him open. Fuck his office.
His desk might actually have
Yeah.
successes.
Kind of like stops as he has this idea. There might be at least one more piece of information I can gather from here. It might be at least in this general area or back in the archive room. I just want to look around here before we leave for good.
Let me write the desk for you as he picks it up from the floor because we did kind of chuck it against a wall.
We did do that.
Then was unable to help too much with that, kind of like taps over to the guy in the corner, looking down at him. He kind of crouches down, kind of like pokes at his shoulder.
It is incredibly bony. He doesn't seem to respond.
He just turns from where he's crouched, watching Sebastian and Anas go through everything.
Setting the desk up and rifling through it, you see a variety of finance reports. How long do you decide to dig through these? Do you scout for every bit of information, or is it just a light skim?
He is looking mainly for test subject information. So, like, if he at least going through it, but not like reading every bit of financial information on it. If he doesn't see any mention of like research, test subjects, anything like that, he's just throwing it to the side. He's spending time on doing this though. He's being thoroughly looking for information on what happened to people who graduated.
You find nothing so written out like that. You find mostly just documents notating like transference of facility assets. Yes, that's what it is. A transference of facility assets at a variety of dates and times and who they go to. But you see another report. You see a set of like payment documents, and this is all the funding this facility receives.
Why is there so many papers?
All information on the money that goes into this.
Wait, somebody's paying for them to do this?
The paper says a lot of people are.
a lot of people.
Do they know what they're doing?
Any names that stand out on this document?
Well, there's some interesting. There's an interesting point where there's a lot of them that are just like donations or annual subsidy or like stipends for research. But you also see a variety of other reports that say fees for acquiesced assets. And they're small amounts. But they have numbers at the end of them. So fees for acquiesced assets, colon 002 063 091.
Does it say who paid for 091?
Yes. The payments for 091 asset fees, as it were, is for a... I'll type it in the chat.
Do you want to say who paid for Sebastian as well?
No one did. He didn't graduate. He already has his incident report. The one where
He was
fucking
worse than a
stabbed
failure.
Oh, okay.
It
I
was
misunderstood. I thought it was like just a general like paying for them to do this to people
No.
thing. Never mind then.
A lot of people were paying them to do this to people. Just not specifically sponsoring a child to be traumatized.
And with with every donation, we'll send you a picture of the child and their suffering.
It's an Adelric Petronov.
Any knowledge checks on recalling if that name is?
None of you know.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna ask.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I can ask the stick.
Any history on the Petronov last name?
Sure, yeah, you can make a roll on that.
Whoever his clan is, they're all ashamed.
We'll hit them where it hurts.
If you think using the walking stick would help here, I can be sure to pay attention.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
It's a 158 history.
As he tucks his legs under him and he waits for Lexi to say his piece as he gets settled.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely enough. Petronov is a standard last name from those who descend from Hendel, which is north of Moth.
I am not sure if this would help, but the last name comes from Heimdall, right?
Hendel.
Hendel. From Hendel. You'll find them more north than Moth.
Hopefully that gives you more information from them.
Okay. And Finwith will use the walking stick to find out anything he can about the name.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
You do so. After a few moments, Finwith looks up at you all expectantly.
Nothing.
He just shrugs.
Not
Worth
just
a try.
shakes his head.
Maybe he's not magic enough for anything to know about him.
Possibly.
Or he's just a no one. Or it's not his real name.
I'm curious. The list of fees, is it a very short section, or is it just as long as like some of the other sections?
These are long bill outs over the course of months. It's like constant transactions, and you're looking through, and you're like, for this month, there's a whole bunch of fees, and it's just like pretty much every month, these people are paying this facility a set amount based on for the use of these facility assets.
I'm having war flashbacks to looking at hospital bills for the department.
Yeah.
Oh,
Out of game, just to give you guys a little bit more information since it's not going to come up in game. Essentially, how the facility works is this facility produces high level bodyguards or agents, and as long as those agents are alive, the individuals who own said assets, quote unquote, pay a fee to the facility.
When was the last set of
payments.
financial stuff? The last recorded date?
The last recorded date was a couple months ago. That also appears to be the last date that this facility received said paperwork.
Well, I hate this place even more. People paying for this and buying people. He just kind of like leans over and looks down at the completely out of it dude who's gonna fucking die in like a day or two anyway. Just, I'm glad no one killed you. It would be the greatest dishonor. Being responsible for your death isn't worth it.
No, it doesn't help to look more. And Anas is gonna look over the desk and see if there's any secret compartments.
Sure, make a search roll.
If we want to take the papers, we can.
I've already memorized the things I need to know. I don't wish for any trace of this place once we're done. I want this facility to be lost to time.
We'll make sure to get the cabin too. And then we can go look for the other cabin if you want before we go.
Alright, that's a 135 search.
All right. Looking it over, the dust doesn't really seem to have any particular secret compartments or anything like that. But looking throughout the entire room, you do see a safe.
Hey, Sebastian. And he points out the safe.
You think it's worth going through?
It might be. Test the handle on the safe.
It is locked.
If it uses lightning like other stuff, maybe you can just pop it open.
Quickly perceiving. Does it seem like it does?
This has no electricity thrown into it.
As he's like currently still fiddling with like last bit of papers, he just kind of like not even really like looking in the direction. He's kind of waves his hand a little as he's just gonna shatter the door to the safe.
Okay.
Oh, there's
go
something in
ahead.
there you're gonna break.
Yeah.
Unless you have the control to like only break certain parts.
Do I?
You have to target an object.
He's gonna target the safe door.
Sure.
Shatter. Do I have any silly little bonuses hiding?
Silly little bonuses.
I
Is that
do.
what we're calling our plus 260s to do something now?
I call it that. Just a silly little bonus.
Sebastian running a Bob Ross stream.
That'd be awful because he doesn't understand the point of paintings.
I know. That's the great part.
Aesthetically, this looks like a tree. It's not actually a tree, though. Do not be fooled.
There's nothing happy about it. The trees can't be happy.
Trees have no personality or nervous system. It is not a happy little tree, and they cannot have friends. Fort is a tree. That's a
You
that's a
have
240.
problems.
That's a what? Sorry.
That's a I got a 240 for almost impossible. That's 140 physical resistance from it.
140 physical resistance. Okay.
Yep.
You hear the sound of metal being bent, and the door slightly warps, but that's about as much as you do.
Does it give the strong people any sort of handhold to just rip it open?
They can try.
And also attempt it.
Sure, for me a feat of strength.
You're strong. You could do it.
That is a 96.
You've getting nothing.
Hey, Alexi.
Yeah.
Can you give me a hand?
Let me give it a try. And he limbers up. I have that skill.
It's one of the few times feats of strength has actually come up.
I do too. My problem is my feats of strength are inhibited by armor.
That's not bad.
You just gotta strip to flex.
Apparently.
158.
You
Weirdly the same as my history, which is a little odd.
That was strange. You kind of grab and pry at the parts of the door that have kind of open. You can feel it just a little wiggle, but no. This safe is the size of about a mini fridge and weighs as much as a car.
Maybe if we work together.
I mean, it is.
I can try the claws on it.
You'd have to be careful not to hit anything inside.
Well, I mean, so long as I don't, he kind of gestures. I have the thing on, so maybe I won't. Fidwith is gonna, use the Ignis Spore.
And Nas backs out of the room.
And try to break
Those
the
claws. I see.
I thought you meant the owl claws.
No.
Okay, so you use Ignis Form.
Mm-hmm.
Make a willpower for me, please.
Okay.
Oh my god.
The necklace protects you from outside
Outside
forces.
forces. Yes, I know. Wishful thinking and excitement to be helpful. It's a powerful thing, huh?
As soon as he sees Finwith going to try for this, Anas is just backing out of the room.
And which one? You said willpower, but just the D10.
Sorry, psychic resistance, I believe, is
Okay.
the. It should say in the ability what the check requirement is.
You have the psychic thing on? The inhibitor?
Oh, okay, that's enough. That's 131,
Thank god.
which is
Okay.
just over the 120 I need to not
Thank god.
fucking lose it.
You transform your hands, unless you're doing a full transformation.
Nah, he just needs the claws.
And as you do so, you can feel the destructive and wrathful urges kind of course through your body.
There's a
But-
moment where he actually goes a little bit more, and you can actually see smoke kind of starting to curl between his teeth before he cuts the he doesn't fully transform into it, as just the itching paranoia with all of them behind him just sets off a bunch, and he just kind of focuses on the safe.
You get that strange thought in your head, which is what if I just ripped him to shreds right now? What if, the call of the void kind of stuff.
It would be a good fight. Nah, they're my friends. We went through this. We just had a whole big talk. I feel immediately bad about that. No, I don't feel bad. It's its fault, not mine. I'm gonna cut the safe now. I claw at the safe.
Okay. You do so. Your claws penetrate, it has a destruction
Yeah, they pin 1, break 12.
Okay, go ahead and roll your breakage, which is the D10 plus the breakage.
17.
You slash across this safe. It takes damage, but it's rather sturdy.
Doesn't seem like he would be able to claw through it.
If you did it enough, probably, but this thing seems to have a decent fortitude.
Then he'll just do it enough. The Ignis form is very cheap to keep up.
Okay. Roll for me breakage until you hit 20.
Oh, well, the next one is because I rolled a 6, so.
6 would be 18, right? As a breakage of 20 or 12.
Oh, done. Ah,
You need to roll an 8 or higher.
gotcha.
And let me know how many rolls it takes.
Will do. Okay. That was 6 rolls.
Okay. So you have this up for 3 rounds worth. As you're clawing across it, you're doing damage. You guys have the ability to bypass this thing's hardness with your key. So it does take damage, but it's incredibly sturdy. Eventually, you have caused enough damage to it, and your claws kind of rip through it. And you hit like a locking part of it or something, but you can now at least halfway open the door after it cools down a little bit.
Oh, well, the flaming claws, he just kind of prizes and then.
Yeah, it still takes fire damage. It takes a ton of fire damage. The safe is really hot by the time you're done with it. Letting it sit for like a minute or two, it cools down to a touching temperature.
Okay.
Inside this safe is your guys' most favorite thing in the world. Is more paperwork.
Yo!
The things I do for him.
More paperwork. I'll read through it.
The rage sees through and you just burn the paper.
Nah. He just drops it once it's done.
Alright, Cat has settled. I'm ready to receive information.
Alrighty.
Emotional support, Ripley.
Looking over the paperwork, one, you see the deed to the facility.
Hey, we own the facility now.
Okay, then guys, new idea. I know I wanted to use ground control to destroy this place, but like, flip it? Let's get an investment going.
Oh my god. Flip this house, but it's a fucked up
Anima
size
housing market hasn't blown up yet.
This is going to be our party base. Fuck the flying temple that we have access to.
Everybody needs
Golden,
a vacation home.
We
in the
don't
woods.
like the sky. We're gonna go as far away as we can underground.
This is our remote cabin, and we're not in the mountains where people would expect. We're underground. Get with it.
But, in case it's relevant,
Hi, Celeste.
the facility... Sorry, there it is in the... under the name of Kenneth Dodwin.
Well, no, he has a name.
Hmm?
He has a name now. Name that he's going. That's
I
gonna
was-
be lost here.
Making an in-character noise of inquiry.
He just know his name.
That's actually a good point. Does the scientist guy have a little name tag?
He reads it.
He doesn't have a... He's not a scientist, or at least he's not wearing like a lab coat or anything.
Oh, okay.
He just looks over, like his own shoulder, where he's like hovering kind of behind Sebastian, not reading because he can't. Says, "Your entire family, you bring shame to."
He's not wearing a shirt, and he's
Yeah,
wearing raggedy pants. So, no, he has no name tag. Though, if you search through the room, you do find a small little placard that has the name Kenneth Stodman.
Oh, that probably got launched away through the desk, huh?
Probably.
Yes, it did. Pretty erratically through the room, I might add.
Got some good points for a pinball game.
Any other cool little things in the safe?
Yes. You see a small document that the title of it, looking it over, is The Capacities of the Human Mind, a Gateway to Perfection, by Dr. Loctis Khan.
Is there a nice little abstract at the beginning?
Yes. 1 second.
Of course there is.
Make sure I've typed the name correctly.
I really want to make sure that there's Anima MLA. I'm going to cite this. I'm going to put it in my works cited.
Cite a source that most people just don't have access to, so they can't tell you know.
Or the second best version of that. What's your source? I made it up.
Saw a post for that recently.
Oh,
Yeah, I
my
really
mistake.
like that
It's Loctis Khan Schwarzwald.
Oh, it's a person in a book.
That is a heck of a name to introduce yourself with.
The dissertation in the front is rather complex and very wordy. A lot of it you don't understand, but you can get the general gist. This document is a comprehensive theory on the discovery and exacerbation of psychic abilities in human individuals.
He relays this to you all as well.
What?
It seems like it's some sort of research on psychic abilities and how to grow them in people, maybe. A lot of this is going over my head, admittedly.
So it's like how to train.
I assume based on the work here. Or this facility was based on the paper. Either or.
How old does the book look?
Does it have its published date?
The publishing date seems to be somewhere in the range of about 23 years ago. This document itself doesn't look that old.
Yeah.
Well, then you can read it and learn how to get better without being hurt by a bunch of people. And if you want to know more, we can find that guy.
He's like folding the paper up and like placing it in his bag. See what I can find out of it.
There's a little about the author section. Grew up in the company beaches of...
Currently lives.
How about in that fucked up circus island? Paradise. That seems like a fucked up place for some experimental psychic bullshit. Also, just keep piling stuff on there, Cameron. Until we actually go, just keep making it worse.
Make the neon sign brighter and bigger, like each few
I don't
sessions.
have to.
Good. It grows on its own. I love to hear that about a place.
I'll let you know that happy fun points are canonical term in Anima.
You know, I said fucked up circus like carnival like Hell Island, and I immediately got a message from Snide. Which tells you someone's preferences and theme. It wasn't about that, but I'm gonna say it is. Cut that part out.
Edit that part out.
But...
So.
Dowen clowning. Fair.
Any other documents?
No, other than like a few other documents of ownership of a variety of different things, all of which have names you don't understand the meaning of.
No mention of like students that graduate or anything like that.
You think they care about the students? They're little numbers on a board.
I'm guessing that's the record of sale.
They're stepping stones and money, nothing else. Until they find the perfect one. Obviously that didn't go well here, now did it?
There's leases, but that was in the, the documents you were looking in before.
Alright, well, we'll take whatever you want, and then everything else, let's leave and crush this place.
I agree. He takes the research paper.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess we leave.
Okay. Y'all make the trek out of here.
On the way out of curiosity, Anna steps into the hallway where the gravity was reversed to see if it still does it.
As you step into the hallway, you find that everything's back to normal.
Do you think the wall thing's still there? Out of character, now we can go check the bathroom because we're later into the game chapters, and that place that was previously inaccessible is unlocked, and we can go get that collectible now.
True. What we're saying is this is the Metroidvania, and there's still going to be an audio log in there.
It's been waiting this whole time.
Is it in there? Is there an audio log?
Ashton
No,
goes
but
and
there's
checks
a
the bathroom.
bobblehead on the toilet.
Oh, what kind of... Oh, hell yeah.
Is it the collectible one, or the one where it's a collectible but you gotta break it?
Yeah. Or is it like just picking it up once gives you like a bonus?
You get the little achievement in the corner.
Picking up, nothing happens.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you didn't even get one experience point. That sucks, bud.
Probably gonna sell it to someone. There's probably a bobblehead vendor. It's like, I'm looking for old bobbleheads. There's 1,000 gold for each.
If you can bring me them all, you get a super secret thing. That's actually supposed to be a super powerful rare weapon, except by the time you finish it, you always have better equipment anyway. That doesn't match your kit, so it's cool, I guess I'll just go sell it to Black Sun.
I hate stuff like that. It's just hey, go through all this trouble to get this item, and you get it, and you're like, it's not even that good.
I got better shit on my way to get all the shit for this.
You know, the worst, I would say, is in games like that, not even if it's fully intended, but I hate it when it's just the game system of all this work for a unique weapon, but the crafting system in the game is I can just make something leagues better than something hand gifted to me by a god. And it's I have a sword I made, it does 1,000 damage, kills things in one hit.
If it's an item they're giving you for a quest, like a weapon or something, it's got to be a weapon with like a novelty, or else it's utterly pointless.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, bobblehead and notes in hand, you leave the facility, hopefully for the last time.
Hopefully.
You can also psychically move the bobblehead.
Oh yeah, Finwith, were you able to figure out what that thing is? He does like the motion for like the staple remover.
Oh yeah, Radovan and I were talking about it, and we actually did figure it out. It's most likely like a good tool for working with like leathers or something with heavier seams. Because if you did it with regular like those thin cloths, it would just rip everything. So most likely just to get a good grip or get under seams and stuff, or even to put holes in softer leathers for it. Don't know why they would have it down here.
Should we grab a few of them? Maybe we could take it back to Goldar with us.
There wasn't any cloth or like leathers. There wasn't any.
Well, you do recognize that the clothing they have has a much sturdier material to it. It's not like the standard
Okay, maybe it's
cotton
just
fiber.
maybe it's just weird Southerners like stuff with their clothes. They would like keep it just in case something happens.
Should we take some back with us to Goldar? Might be some use for the leather workers up there.
No, not really. Bone tools last really long time, and some of them just kind of take a good shape after you use them for like years and years and years, and you can tell good tools by how long they've been used.
He nods.
Like I could get a new knife, and he pulls out like his carving knife and like flips it around. It's like, but it works really good because I've used it, so it's good at what I need it for. All about metal. Bone's good.
And this is a conversation as we're walking out, so.
I can't wait for the final boss. He'll like be grandstanding, monologuing, and then stop. Be like, is that a staple remover? Oh shit! I need one of those.
I turned evil because I kept like cracking my nails trying to like carefully pull out the staples. I'm an organization freak, and I got a hole puncher. But before I can put everything in binders with the hole puncher, I have to get all the staples out of everything without ripping my paper. I can't look at that shit once it's bad enough that it has the holes in it in the first place. Trade me that and I'll quit my evil ways.
All the staples in the world, but no way to remove them.
You've had the MacGuffin the whole time.
Unlimited power.
It's one of those times.
Fuck
That you're
Unlimited power!
it's one of the times that you're like a loot goblin, but you pick up something that isn't normally sellable, but you don't realize it's in your fucking inventory, and you're like, "What the fuck is this option?" And, like you get
Yeah, you like
dialogue
you
option
loot
for it.
and then you just hit the like sell all junk thing, not realizing that it's not being sold every time, and then it's a quest item. You're like, what the fuck is this? I can't get rid of it. Why can't I drop it? Well, it doesn't weigh anything, so I guess.
I really love the image of some decrepit ass fucking evil lich handing him a staple remover. He's like,
It's like the last remnants of Solomon, like, yes, the fabled staple remover returns at last.
he's just like clicking it like it's like a little face. We have fun.
It's a little alligator snick, 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 snick. It's a little dragon.
I can now pass on.
No, you should have done. It's like in retrospect, as soon as Finn would like touch the staple holder, a new hand has touched the beacon.
People keep fucking throwing the beacon away. Gotta disguise it as something else.
Now that
Alrighty.
Meridia's finally juked us, alright, we leave the facility.
A little more insane than you started.
Maybe the true madness was within us all along.
Finn with cringe. Please, please heal Finn with already.
Speaking of healing Finwith, I got to have health in our little stay in Rosencrantz.
Hell yeah.
I hurt. My Xeon's fine though.
That's good.
I have a lot of Xeon. Even with a necklace that eats it.
So, you're outside the facility, now what?
You said you were able to.
Oh, yeah. Grabs the wings. Tears them off again. Shakes out. Gets off the feathers. And then we'll take up the centipede shape so he can burrow. And, alright, just tell me where you want to go down. Maybe where the edges of it are?
I think so.
And then just work our way that way. And Finwith will use the centipede form to basically make like aerating tunnels down towards the facility, and then clamber back out of them so he can go down them and crush the earth below, or whatever he intends to do to collapse the facility under the sheer force of rock.
He has ground control, and actually, while doing this, he just depending how long it takes to dig. Oh shit! Feel froze up. Okay. Depending on how long it takes to dig, after you're done digging the first one, he'll just what I plan to do, I plan to take an hour in preparation each time. So just keep digging.
Yeah, Finwith has plenty of time. We'll just keep burrowing.
Hopefully by the time I'm done, you'll have another, and we can just go that way.
He is careful not to double back on tunnels though, so he doesn't collapse it on himself.
Yeah. Basically,
So-
Sebastian's going to be using an hour concentration with ground control to crush this facility.
How would you crush it?
Utilizing the sheer mass of earth, stone, everything around him. Sebastian will do what he can with however... A lot of it depends on the radius, too. But he basically will take a very large, just flat area and just using all of his psychic might to just move it through the facility, forcing it to just move, like behind the sheer weight of Earth.
You do so, and the facility seems to hold. It's made of very stern stuff. It is a large facility made of concrete, stone, and metal, and steel.
Do I think there's a way I could collapse it? Make it at least easier? Like, especially going through it all?
Let me look up ground control first. I'll let you know, this facility is almost a square mile in size.
Yeah.
It is massive.
Well, there's another thing I could at least do, but
Hey, you could do it with atomic restructuring.
it'd be fun. I cannot get that high.
You could do it if you could roll a Zen roll on your ground control.
Yeah, that's the problem. Then in that case, he's going to, after we do the first one, just kind of realizing this just stops Finwith from digging more. I think I'm just going to settle with the entrance.
I mean, if it's gonna take a long time, we can still do it if it means it.
I don't think I can destroy the facility itself, but maybe I can just settle for the ladder in the cabin. Erase all remnants of it.
If you want a rough reference of like its damage and structural points and everything, it's essentially like a castle, which means you need to break a damage barrier of 140.
Yeah, that's the problem. I have to make a Zen roll. Does it seem feasible to do the very long ladder shaft and cabin instead?
The cabin has essentially an 80. There's actually a cabin stats in the game.
Of course there is.
Gotta break the tunnel though.
Yeah, that's
What if it's made out of the special wood metal?
No, this is not. This is not made out of Gestalt wood. And the tunnel, I would say. Well, if you can do the cabin, you can do the tunnel. I'll say.
okay. Then he's gonna try. He's going to spend an hour concentrating. I think that is the max, right? I can only use an hour to concentrate for the plus 50. I can't go any higher. Because that's all it is.
Let's see.
It just goes up to an hour.
Then yes, it's just an hour.
I mean,
You can get the advantage that doubles your concentration bonus, but that's about it.
It's true. I mean, unless. Yeah, I think. All right. He is going to try then. Plus 50. Total, I have a 180. Ah, shit! I gotta open roll.
To get the 80.
Yeah.
Even with the plus 50.
Yeah.
Don't you
120.
automatically boost a level using?
You are right. I forgot. I have so many abilities. I don't do that. I gotta make 40 less than that. Let's do this. All right. I think that might work. Yep, that makes that. 253 bumps up to 280.
There you go. How do you manipulate and crush this part of it anyway?
Those up top see this just this rippling energy going through the ground, kind of slowly over time growing around the cabin in the shaft, as eventually after an hour ticks and he gets enough concentration, the ground begins to shift as a hole opens just suddenly. The cabin kind of falls a little down, not all the way, kind of sinks, I'd say like a few feet into the earth, but kind of is stuck on the hole as the earth itself just begins to almost turn and force it to sideways as it just smashes down, crushes, compresses it, and then slowly the dirt begins to kind of fill itself back up. Any metal or wood bits remaining are deep underground as the rest of the soil is made to look more natural. He uses remnants of the side. The elevation probably is dropped a little bit in this one part of the area, but he does his best to make it look just like a small little clearing.
Well, unfortunately, it at least looks like a bunch of churned earth. Yeah. As you can't replace grass or anything on the surface
It'll
level.
take a little bit for it to become natural, but it's not there anymore.
But eventually, Sebastian rises out of a nearby hole, and the deed is done, at least as much as you can do.
Next time it rains, it'll flatten it out some. And eventually the grass will grow over it.
And if you happen to find more power with your book or something along the way, maybe you can do a little bit more.
At the very least, you have the solace in knowing that anyone who would want to get in would have to tunnel through tons of earth and stone just to get to the entrance of that tunnel you collapsed, because digging through the outside of this thing would be nigh impossible.
Yeah. So.
There might be some grass seed we could scatter to encourage the grass to grow.
I don't think it's worth it.
Let's...
If someone was planning to come in a few days, maybe. But
it's okay. We'll just forget this place.
I may come back though and destroy it entirely once I feel like I have the power.
Once I become a godly,
So
godly
you reach
psychic.
God.
In a few more levels, I'll be back.
In that case, I could just reconstruct the facility's atoms.
Into a whole bunch of swords that you throw at people.
My trauma is my weapon. That's kind of edgy. No, I mean it. It's just hundreds of swords. Well, it's still kind of edgy because there's skewered.
Our business in the facility is done for now. Hopefully forever.
And with that, we'll end this episode.
It's just like, sir, they fired the arrows as it blankets the sky, and then they just see a whole bunch of swords rain down.
Next week, we'll be getting on to whatever adventure you guys decide to go on next. Probably nothing to do with, the peak of the world or dragons or anything like that.
Yeah, there's a little social visit.
I heard that we need to help
No,
Finn
it's
with something.
Yeah.
It's fine. There's nothing happening in the peak of the world. I have no family. There's nothing happening up there. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
But I felt like this is a good point to kind of get out because we only got like 20 minutes left to.
Yeah.
That's totally enough time to speed run finding a second cabin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I apologize to everyone. This was a slightly shorter session than I think anyone would have.
I apologize.
Well,
I did spend an hour fighting with my camera.
me too, because I also made you do something that made it even worse.
It's alright, we figured it out, which was steal from roommates. With permission, so it's not really stealing, but my reputation, you know?
Can't let people know I ask for things.
Gross.
Scoff.
But yeah, it's just I know the next part, or at least this next thing for Sebastian would be a little longer than a 20-minute endeavor, so I want to not have that be rushed at all.
That's fair.
It was a joke about the cabin.
It's still, like we are ending early and it's a short session. It is what it is.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Time is
It
time.
happens.
And we definitely don't have anything to do right after this game.
No, we would never.
Fair. But just before we do experience some fun facts. Yeah, the Lord of Madness left after you guys killed all the people he was feeding off of.
I thought that might be the case.
That's fair.
You guys kill everyone that he's feeding off the madness of, and then you left, and he's just like, well, I guess I'll fucking leave. There's one guy here and like a monster. That's it. 6 people ain't enough.
And him leaving pretty much cut off their ability to sustain, right?
Yes.
That's my guess.
A
And
lot of
what
these
I'm
things
hearing,
could only live based on the chaos that he was creating.
this has become another party's problem, not ours.
Well, if you guys injured the Lord of Madness and not killed him in one go, he would have just fled to the wake.
That's fair.
Huh.
It's kind of what he does. He's not particularly strong himself.
And he knows that he's a bitch.
And not only that, but he reduces your attacks by 250 innately.
Christ.
So yeah, it was unlikely you guys could one-shot him unless you got a super mega open roll. Which is possible. I've seen it.
We've done it.
I've seen rolls in the 500s.
Yeah.
So,
I've
you
seen
know.
rolls-
God. So you're saying I would have to open with my biggest attack? That's what you're saying.
And with the fancy sword, or else it wouldn't do anything.
True.
Arthur's got the scary open roll on both his rival and Anastasia's brother. So
Yeah.
And then he got hard targeted for both of them.
remember that fear, Suzanne, where I almost murdered your brother?
Don't remind me. I'm I'm still holding a grudge.
Of course.
He had a rough couple moments there, what with being like gently sonic nuked and then actually outright fucking nuked with key bullets.
I still love that moment at the fucking fight with the Inquisition where Arthur's like, all right, I can shoot non-lethally, and he's just like, oh, now you could shoot non-lethally.
To be fair, we did not know you were his brother until you started fighting us, and then we said, hey, wait, this guy kind of looks like Anastasia. He's got the same armor. And then you kept fighting us. Which is fun. Fenwith was perfectly fine with fighting your brother and was delighted to get to fight them again. Including more of your family.
I know, I was more looking for the existential party dread that Alex would have created if he had murdered Lauren, because that means Anas would forever hate Arthur and try to murder him.
It would have caused a lot of problems for the arc. Like,
it would have caused a lot of problems for the fucking Sorbonnes because you wouldn't have won. Arthur would have shot
God.
you 7 fucking times.
Who takes over if Lauren team doesn't?
Probably be Mino.
I don't
No,
know if
it'd
it
be
would
your
go to the uncle or
dad.
the dad. Yeah, it would be your uncle or your dad.
I mean, your dad was the prior head anyway, so.
Sure, it doesn't mean Mino wouldn't try to go for it.
But, yeah, no. So, Lord of Madness left because you guys destroyed everything he was there for. You know, there's literally nothing else for him to do. So, just
We
vanished.
can't hurt you. We take your food. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's valid. It's completely fair. Sorry you didn't get the catharsis of beating the dungeon boss.
But hey, if anything messes with our minds now, we have trinkets.
we're ready.
Until
We are
get hit.
ready. And thankfully, for a lot of stuff here, Arthur's not the vindictive type. He's not the one to be like, oh, I'll get you one day. He's like, huh, it's gone, I guess. All right, back to what I was originally doing.
The facility's the thing that hurt me, not him.
Yeah.
He was just drawn here like we were.
He has no moral qualms with letting a Lord of Madness loose. He doesn't care. That's someone else's problem now.
Also, that document you found by Dr. Loctus Khan Schwarzwald, he's a big player in the Anima universe, or the
Imagine.
Anima world. He is Lucanor's teacher.
Ah,
Yeah,
he's
I
partially to blame.
Huh.
Yeah. There's a lot with him.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
can
lot,
imagine.
and there's a lot more than just being Lucanor's prior instructor.
The
Yeah.
moment you said, oh, let me make sure I spelled the name right, I was like, okay. Alright, I see what it is.
Gotta be somebody important.
Yep.
That's Anima for you.
He's
Or
also
just
the
weird names.
the one who headed the research and pretty much invented Black Blood.
So he's at fault for it. 2 of your characters.
Oh, boy.
Got Don ticked off for Devin, and you got Sebastian ticked off for Alex. Hey Cameron, I need you to message Suzanne and I individual, like, different things that he also had a hand in so we can also make characters fucked over by this guy.
It's not hard, and you don't have to try.
Then we have a whole campaign where all of us come together. It's like, let's just kill this one.
Well, there's a problem with that.
Yeah.
Considering Don's dead,
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
now
That's fair.
Ashili.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a big player, and he'll become more relevant halfway through the next
No!
phase. So,
Really? What a surprise. I never want to guess.
what else was there? Trying to remember any other fun facts before we ended the session. Completely. Can't think of anything at the moment.
Was it the 5 children?
I mean,
I'll be right back.
I told you after you guys pretty much defeated it, but yeah, it was just a monstrous creature that could use a free psychic ability from one of 5 different matrices every round.
I'm guessing through psychic shenanigans they all merged into one being.
Chaos. Yes. Madness and chaos. Yeah. It was also random what each of the rooms were and if they were affected at all. Some rooms you went into had nothing wrong with them. They were just rooms. Other rooms, the pH levels were fucked up, or a variety of other things.
My blood is battery acid now.
I'm curious, but we may find it out later. Do we know what drew him there in the first place if these kids were in stasis?
Oh, yes. So one of the things that brings out psychic powers is large amounts of mental stress. So the kids were being tortured and put through rigorous, like psychic trauma to get their powers to come out. That's when he arrived and started to alter things slightly to increase the madness levels until he finally fully set himself inside the facility and had everyone go crazy and kill themselves or turn into monsters.
Or get murdered violently by monsters.
Oh, yes, I remember the other thing. The holding their hands to their necks, which came up several times, and you guys never discovered why. One of the Lords of Madness's abilities are called Sickles of Madness. He would inflict a crazy individual, giving them enhanced abilities and powers. And he would use these individuals as puppets to defend himself with.
Huh.
Gotta give him credit, the sniper girl was probably the best one.
Probably.
Because despite the fire, that wasn't an enclosed area. Between the sniper girl and the 5 combined, those would have been pretty terrifying threats for a normal person.
And luckily, we pulled the end from Metal Gear Solid 3 and just let one of the bosses die instead of fighting it.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry, we can do experience now.
You just gotta wait a few days. Come
We
back.
we did miss the special ending where you take pictures of the people as they're following you.
Of course.
But I was mentioning Value are gone. The reason why they were holding their necks was because one of the Lord of Madness's abilities is called Sickle of Madness. And he sticks in the neck of individuals and puppets them around and gives them extra abilities.
Ooh, fun.
Which is why the individuals you saw doing that were also crazy powerful psychics.
I'm curious, while it was in the laying down position, did our final monstrosity, were they also have their hand on their neck, or were they just...
No, I said it wasn't when you guys...
It had already left them.
Yep. But yeah, that was the reason for that. So one of the interesting facts. There's so much. If any of you had seen Supernatural, you guys would have seen a lot of stuff in this one place.
It would have made up for the fact that Astrid saw like 2 things the whole campaign with her sea supernatural.
It's not a very common occurrence.
Nope.
It's rare. Intentionally so. But anyway, let's go ahead and do XP. General interpretation. There was some good roleplay this session. I liked it a lot. Not a lot of like super in-depth roleplay, but I think enough. I'll give you guys 15 experience points for that. 3 experience points for being here today. 1 for Anas.
Freak. No
difficult actions really. Well, no, actually, I'll give you guys a player award for getting into the safe.
Good old perseverance.
The safe is a very different.
And demonic
relatively
evil
difficult
claws.
Yeah.
Also, you guys can use Anas's breaker blade because it also has a breakage.
That too.
Well, one of them was a precision instrument, and the other one, Final Fantasy VII's Buster Blade.
Essentially. So. But yeah, that was relatively difficult. I'll also give you guys a player award for finding out about Loctus Khan, because he is a very big player in the world. And the first time in 10, 11 years playing this game that has actually come up.
It's true.
I mean, I guess he's doing something right if he's remaining in the background.
Or I
Up
just
here
haven't gotten to
controls.
play campaigns long enough to get this to come out.
Fair. Fair. Well, we've been churning them out for you, Cameron, and we're gonna
That's
keep
true.
it up. We're getting to
Keep the
phase
second
3,
campaign.
come hell or high water.
Yeah. The next season, I'll definitely have a lot more like shorter term campaigns just to have to explore more elements. Because
Fuck, that means I have to make lots of anima characters.
Fucking same.
Yes.
Yes.
I have
I'll
one.
say there'll be like 20 sessioners, which is like 5 months. So, worst case,
That's
you have
still
to make
compared
2 characters a
to
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a single anima character idea, and it's for the Arbiter campaign. So
Well, good thing that's going to be next.
good. I have an idea for it. I just need some
Iron.
help adjusting it.
But yeah, we're almost done with this one. We got like 2, maybe 3 more chapters, depending. So this will be, well, next session. This session and part of next session will be the end of this very small chapter for Sebastian's character arc.
It's also going to be really strange ending this campaign, because, like, we're just supposed to deal with the Lich, right? And that's the end of it. Like, oh yeah, Goldar's not worried about being flooded by fucking undead, except our characters have stumbled into the knowledge of the end of the world coming in the next couple decades. So it's like, after the undead thing, none of them can rest, because there's just, all of them are like, so when are these messengers showing up, right?
Who knows? We might run into them in later campaigns.
Nope. I know we're gonna run into the messengers. I'm not dumb, Cameron.
No, I'm talking about your characters.
Oh, our
later
characters?
campaigns.
I'm not sure I want to know what full-fledged Sebastian's capable of.
Sebastian is one of the characters I'm heavily considering, like, returning to at a later date. The other one is kind of, I have an idea for Arthur, but only what he's gonna look like post time skip. I know what battle damage that man is gonna have.
Can he even scar with all of his nemesis shit?
He can lose limbs.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that, combat. No real combat, but you guys will still get the experience for defeating the Lord of Madness and the Child Amalgamate, which will be 25 experience points for both of them.
Lord of Madness sounds about right. 25 total for the 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Lord of Madness was 15 and the Child Amalgamate was 10.
Man, Lord of Shadows is Lord of Madness is kind of shit compared to the Vampire Hemomancer Lord.
Kind of. The Lord of Madness is kind of like the dungeon itself in how he operates. Yeah. So, he's weaker in general than most other Lords of Darkness, but the way he operates pretty much turns him into an entire dungeon, so.
I just meant more the chunk change of experience, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is. Actually defeating him, which is still a task. The madness you have to get over to even do that much is pretty high.
True.
And at least...
What a roundabout way of defeating him, though. Just take his food away and leave.
Just starve him.
Effective.
Yep.
I mean, you didn't defeat him, because he's still alive and is going to cause problems elsewhere. But
oh, for sure.
But yeah.
I'm also not sure if, like, depending on, like, the cosmology and layout of how Anima's world works, like, if you kill something that's, like, the embodiment or, like, ruler over something that's, like, ambiguous like that, like Madness, wouldn't just another thing over Madness eventually rise?
He is closely tied to another force that's very similar. I can't remember what it was called.
Not that they have a lot of time to come to rise and form or whatever. They got about 20 years before shit starts rocking. God knows how long after that before the world's supposed to be destroyed. Before it's definitely not stopped by brave, intrepid heroes. Somehow. The entire world comes together to believe really hard in the power of friendship and defeats the messengers.
We'll have to see.
Try to whistle really loud and get the gods back, like, come here. Did I get you, Devin? You okay?
Come on, gods, come on. This is really
Stop the
funny.
apocalypse! Who's a good guy? Who's a good guy?
Actually, none of them really.
No, well, I meant like the OG ones. It's what, like 2 of them originally or something like that?
Some of the original gods are pretty decent individual. Oh, the CL anyway.
Yeah, one's like, I mean, the closest. One's like really lawful, and one's really good. And then there's one for freedom. So I don't know. It's a crapshoot.
Well, listen, none of you and your like domains that you're over matter if the world's destroyed, and none of those things exist ever again.
True.
And then they just look at you and go, "You know there are other worlds, right?" What? No. Can we go to those ones before this one gets bapped? Nah.
I didn't like your tone. Oh, but yes, we were doing experience.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. There's a connection between the Lord of Madness and the 17th Messenger, the First Chaos.
Yay.
Anyway, most damage out goes to Sebastian, technically, for hitting a downed enemy for a lot of damage.
Congratulations, you murdered 5 children at once.
I feel bad about it.
I don't. That sucked. They were just gonna die slowly there.
It's a bad situation.
You can feel bad for them, not for having to
Yes.
kill them, because
Yeah.
you put them out of their fucking misery. There's no saving that shit.
Most damage taken goes to no one. No one took any damage. Not even real mental damage this time around.
Nope, just mild panic attack, that's all. It's pretty mild compared to last time.
Utility award goes to Finwith for Cutter Claws.
Also, I'd say another good utility is lamp. Flying up a lamp.
I am a flying lamp, yes.
Lamp.
I can be a flying lamp. I can be a
Turn
burrowing
into
lamp.
a moth form. Lamp.
I have assumed my final form. Combined with the lamp of Oneros and my moth form, I'm unstoppable.
The moth dream.
Batters at the lamp.
All this power, such. Never mind.
Face award? No face award this time around. No one really did anything or talked to anyone. At least nothing in particular. Pity award. You know, I'll give it to Anastasia. You went to go talk to your brother, only to be like, do you know how to do this? Nope. Alright, good talking to you. Bye. It was just one of those situations where it's just like, I want to see if he has anything. And I don't know if you were expecting more than that, but he has been rather busy lately.
I didn't expect anything at all. So that was perfect.
But take a pity award, it was funny still, nonetheless. Any player nominations and or kudos?
Sebastian for like maybe this will work. Takes off necklace. Anything? That puts necklace back on. More of a kudos because it was a good moment where he's like, okay, let's see if this brings him back.
And Finwith's panicked reaction, like, no, don't do it. That's pretty great.
I'm not going to reward Alex's carelessness because he's already been rewarded enough for that.
That's why I said it.
Man's got a demon heart.
Good old demon
He
ticker.
does. I will say, good job to Finwith for role playing. And also like a minor pity award that no one will cure your madness.
I don't know you have it. If I knew you have it, if you mentioned, I feel kind of paranoid. I'd be like, oh shit, all right. I don't know you feel this way.
The thing about paranoia, though, is like, you don't want to mention. What if they think you're crazy? What if they think you're losing it again? It's fine. And at this point,
Don't
it's like,
think I'm
it's
crazy,
still
but I'm
around.
crazy.
The thing is gone. All of its effects are gone. He has the medallion, and he's still feeling it. So now he has no reason to think that it's from it. Now he just thinks it's him.
Wait a minute, didn't Sebastian sense it? He just didn't have the ability to cure it. That's why you sat outside the cave waiting for Finwith.
No, he knew that he was down there. He hadn't like felt the madness or anything.
I mean, unless he sensed it in that room, like when he sensed matrices, which he sensed nothing. So. Would he have?
I guess he would have technically noticed it then.
I would like to next session have a retroactive scene where I can cure Finn with, because Sebastian.
Well, I mean,
found
he
that
was finished
immediately.
dealing with the whole site, so you could do it afterwards
Yeah,
and pull him aside before we
The reason I say it is because Sebastian would have immediately done that, like
That's fair,
right when
that's
he
fair.
found out, he would have been like, "Oh
That's fair.
shit, you're dealing with
Yeah,
this."
no.
I would like to do that retroactively. I will put it in my notes so I remember.
Okay.
I'll type in the chat too.
That helps.
Any other player nominations and or kudos?
Probably not a player award, but just like I'm glad you finally are getting to enjoy the boons of your electric abilities. And I give you my most sincere apologies that they will never be as useful in probably any other setting we're about to go to.
Yeah.
Considering they're going to be mountains full of dragons and Vikings. Maybe a regular city if we're going after 091 stuff. And a castle half in the wake. That seems to be a running shenanigan with the demiplanes, which also probably has no technology in it. But you still can zap people.
I can zap people though.
You
And
just
railgun.
aren't like...
I can railgun.
Yes, you just don't get to basically play watchdogs while you're walking around. Controlling literally everything around you with a flick of a...
Yeah, I saw your face when I'm just like, you wave your hand and turn on the lights and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Meanwhile, Finwith, lightning. It's electricity, Finwith. What's the difference? What is the difference?
She's so cute. Oh, so adorable.
I love it when she does that move specifically.
Minor pity award to Alexi. Tried to get him involved and it was more focused on Sebastian this episode, so Alexi didn't really get too much interaction.
Yeah, that's fair. There's just not a lot for Alexi to do. He's just not really geared towards what happened this session, so I'll give a player award just for the lack of opportunity.
You didn't get to make a piss joke this time.
I did at least give us a heading for 091.
Yeah. You'll see what happens.
I mean, we could have easily also gone to Olin, so and go, hey, where's this? And just pulls up map on screen.
Well, no, because he knew where the name was from. We didn't know the principality.
That just tips me to a level up as well.
Damn, should have let you hang for a week.
At least you got it off of something useful rather than getting your level up over Radovan trapping you in an emotional conversation with all of your friends.
Actually, that was a fun kudos. I love that scene where we're all handed the amulets and we're like, oh yeah, totally, this will save us from all the emotions. Just that entire scene where we're like, okay, freeze the emotion.
Yeah, you know what? That conversation was great in general. Just the talking. It's so stupid. Funny though.
Yeah, shout out to our out of character how the medallions work, the Inquisitor who can fix everything, and just the entire character based on our botched medallion function. Whoever that sad son of a bitch is out there with a cursed artifact. Alex, do not make it.
I will maybe. I'd make no promises. You know how I like characters like that.
I know you do.
With that, we're gonna go ahead and end for today. If you're watching and you have not done so already, please follow to see more amazing content like this. And if you're interested in possibly playing with us in the future, go ahead and join us in the Discord down below. I always recruit there first before anything else. Also, speaking of recruiting, we'll be running, or at least we're going to try to run this Wednesday, a Mafia one-shot in Pathfinder 2E. We had some players kind of dip out of that, so we're kind of under right now. So until tomorrow is the last day that I'll be taking any kind of, attempts to enter. We definitely have room. I was planning for up to 6 people, and we're currently sitting at like 2. So if anyone's interested, please go ahead and contact me on Discord, and we can get you set up. Tomorrow is the cutoff date. After that, it's sink or swim for the camp for the one shot. So we're gonna find out. Also, we do Anima Beyond Fantasy every Monday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also catch this episode and the campaign up until this point over on YouTube at Bad Luck Gamer. So check us out there. Beyond that, I'm going to go ahead and thank my players so much for being here and role-playing with me today. And we're going to go ahead and say goodnight. So say goodnight, everyone.
Nighty-night.